All right. Let's jump in. I'm gonna share my screen. And here we are in our good old friend command. All right, just a little housekeeping. If you guys could remember to keep yourself muted unless you have questions. You can use the reactions bar at the bottom of your page to raise your hand if you have a question. It's easiest for me to see questions that way. And if you are able to come off your camera, that'd be awesome. If not, totally understand. If you could go to the top right-hand corner of your picture, hit those three dots and rename yourself to include your market center number. That really helps with attendance. So we would appreciate that as well. All right. Let's jump in. Let's just cover our action steps from yesterday really quick. Building out tags was one of the big ones. It's really important to have your database really organized. Your tags are going to help you know who you're communicating to and what ways you want to communicate with them. We've got that import form for all of your contacts in an Excel spreadsheet or Google Sheets. You should be working on getting that filled out as completely as you can. You're going to really appreciate the time that you spend on it now and having a really organized database from the get-go. So it's definitely worth your time. And then check in with your PC coach if you have one. Remember, once you get your contacts in and they have neighborhoods assigned to them, you can launch that biweekly neighborhood nurture or that monthly neighborhood nurture for them. And remember to share your app with as many people as you can. Try for 10 a day. All right. So we're going to jump right into designs. If you have not yet checked out designs, it is very similar to Canva. If you are familiar with Canva, it is a platform that you can use to design all kinds of social media collateral. Designs has the same thing. The big difference between the two is that when you're in designs in Command, you can automatically pull listings directly in, and it pulls the photos and the listing information and everything there. So you don't have to have all the collateral on your computer. You can just pull it directly in from the MLS. The partner that we use for designs is WeBrand. When we go into designs, you'll see later it actually opens you up in a new space, and that is the WeBrand space for your designs. Right, so we're going to jump right in. If you go into Command, Designs is third from the bottom. It's the little painter's palette with the brush. We're going to go in. If you have not yet designed anything in designs, your screen's going to look very different from mine. These are all designs that I have done in the past. So this is kind of my library of designs. We are going to go to create a design, and that is going to bring us into the WeBrand space. We're going to start with video today. It is one really simple, really cute little video. So we're going to go ahead and just do that, hit video, and then you're going to search by a neighborhood. So you can choose a neighborhood that's close to you. I'm down here in Charlottesville, and I like using Belmont as an example. Once you choose the neighborhood, you'll hit next. Then it's going to give you these statistics. It is pulling these from the KWLS. You want to kind of trust but verify. I highly recommend going through in your MLS and actually verifying this information. You can edit it from here. So prices are on the rise. Average price per square foot is on the rise. Average days on market, there's no way that that's correct. Something is skewing that number. So I would want to go in and check that against my MLS and actually update it to the accurate one. For today, we're just going to say 33. And then below that, you have the neighborhood features. You can choose up to 3. There is a drop-down menu here. And this one is actually pretty accurate, artsy, hops and brews, and yoga culture, but there's a lot of different options that you can do. You must have 3, and you can only have 3. So pick the 3 that you think most match that neighborhood. Below that is your agent information. This is most often going to port in directly from your marketing profile. Every once in a while, something gets missed and you just have to fill that in. And then your market center information as well. Make sure you've got that DBA logo. Then you're going to hit next, and it's going to create this little video for you. So it's going to take just a few seconds, and then we'll watch the video. All right.
Bunu götürüyorsun zaten.
That's it. Super cute, right?
Yes.
So you can do this video for any number of neighborhoods. Post it on your social media. I really think it's great to do like a neighborhood highlight and have a couple weeks where you're highlighting certain parts about a neighborhood, and you can have the video going as well. So that's just a really quick and easy little something that you can do for your social media. We are also going to go in next and create a print something. So print is where your buyer presentation lives. Print is where your listing presentation lives. Print is where your flyers live. Anything that you're going to print, they live in this space. And before we jump further, now that we've gone into the WeBrand space, we've got a couple things to look at up here across the top. So templates is where all the templates are going to live. We're going to jump back in a little bit. We're going to choose a template and we're going to work on editing it. Images is where there are stock images from Shutterstock. Some of these are free. Some of them you have to pay for. Keller Williams provides its own stock images as well. So we're going to look at those and see where those live. But this is where you can get those. My Designs is going to be any designs that you've previously made. You can group them in folders and have kind of some organization happening back in this space. This is also where you can drop in a PDF. If you have a PDF from another program that you've designed, maybe a flyer that you really like that you designed previously, and all you have left is a PDF of it, and you don't have an active design, you can actually drop those PDFs in this space and it will take it and kind of pull it apart and make it into an editable format. And then assets.
Tamam Ahmetciğim, artık bir de bunu bir müsaade edersen ben.
All right, assets is where you can go to help build out your brand. So if you have brand colors, because we are with Keller Williams, we are not required to use the KW brand colors. You can have your own brand colors, or maybe you want specific palettes of colors for the seasons, like a fall palette and a spring palette. You can do that here. These will stay in your designs library so that you can pull them into any designs that you're making as you need them. And you would just go here to add a color palette. And then you'd hit the plus, and then you'd pick your color. You can do the fun, like just drag and drop this to a certain place and kind of pick a color that you like, or you can use the RGB codes, the HSL codes, or the hex codes to pick specific colors. So if you have specific colors that you really want to use, you can pull those codes in here. This dropper tool is also really cool if you have a specific design or some sort of flyer or something on your computer and you really like one of the colors in there and you want to match it, you can use this dropper to get that match going. So you just click on the dropper, hover over, maybe I want to use this green for my screen sharing notification, and it's going to pull up that exact color. And then I can use that and start building my palette from there. Same thing with fonts. If you have fonts that you really like that don't exist in Command, you can pull them in here by going to web fonts or uploading your own fonts. So if there are fonts that you're particularly fond of and you want to be using them in your marketing material, you can put them here. The real benefit of using this asset space is the consistency in your branding, which can be really important, especially on things like social media where you're only getting people's attention for that split second. Having consistency in the colors of your branding can be really helpful. Below that, we have images. This is where your headshots are going to live. You can upload any other images that you have. Maybe you've got some great listing photos from some listings you've previously had that you want to use in all of your marketing. You can upload images here. You just go over to upload and choose an image. Text is going to automatically pull from your marketing profile. So some of these are pre-done for you, but you can add new fields. If there are particular things that you always have on your marketing material, sayings, slogans, things like that, you can put those in here, and then it's just one click to put them in and you don't have to type them all out. Logos is where your logos will live. For those who don't know where to find your logos, you can go to kwconnect.com. Under resources, go to marketing, then choose logos and branding. The first thing you're going to see is the identity and style guide. I actually find this kind of interesting. If you want to know the hex codes or the exact codes for the KW colors, or you want to know exactly what fonts Keller Williams is using in their branding, all of that lives in this identity and style guide. There's no rule that you have to have your own colors and your own fonts and your own branding. We have a really big company with really recognizable branding already, so you can just piggyback off of that. And this identity and style guide will help you do that. If you scroll down a little bit further, there is Market Center logos, and you can just put the number of your Market Center or the name of your Market Center in this search box. It's going to pop up right there. You can hit download, and it's going to download a zip file for you that contains all of your logos. So you've got the gray and black, the all white, the red and gray, the red and black. All the different kind of combinations of logos that you can imagine. So that's how you get your logos. And you can upload them into this space. Again, that upload button is just right here in the top right-hand corner. Elements, I don't really use them. If you wanted to, if you had particular shapes or stickers or icons or anything like that that you wanted to use, this is where they would go. Videos, you can have videos on file that you keep. These would be things that you're going to use really often. And then any other files that you want to have in here. So this is a space where you can really come to build out your brand if you want to do that. And anything that you upload into this space is going to live in your design space and be able to be used on any designs that you're building. Okay, so we're going to go in and we're actually going to look right now at the Personally Branded magazine. It is a really fun option if you want to do some brand recognition or have something to drop off at people's houses or have something available at your open houses. You can design a magazine. You can have it printed by a local print company or brand co. You can email them and get them to print this for you. I think it's just a couple bucks per issue, and they will print them to look like magazines. You can also design these and put them online as a digital magazine. So either one of those would work. We will go and use this one. You're just going to hit use. And it's going to pull in the entire magazine. So here I've got 19 pages available in those bottom right-hand corner. You can see those 19 pages. If you click on that, it's going to open it up and it's going to show you all the pages that are available. Now, the first thing you get to do is choose your cover design. So make sure that you only leave one cover in place and go ahead and delete out the ones that you don't want to use, because you only need one. Right. After that, you're going to have the typical inside letter from the editor, but it's going to be a letter from you. If you don't want to use this, all you have to do is delete it. If you do want to use it, you're going to want to go in and make sure that you edit the information. You can see there's already a letter for you to use. This isn't like stock text. So you really just have to come in and make sure that you've got your picture swapped out here, your name put in, and anything that's in brackets down here, you're going to want to make sure you've got set. So to switch out your picture, you're just going to click on the photo itself. So it's got this blue highlight around it. Then you're going to go over here to the image that you want to replace it with and hit these little roundabout arrows. That's going to replace the image. And what that'll do is stick the image in with the exact same formatting that the other image has. If you just hit the plus button or you just hit onto the picture, it's just going to smack it right down on top of whatever you're designing. And that doesn't look very pretty. And then you have to mess with formatting. After that, you've got the quarter in review, and then you get to this evergreen material. These are articles that are already put out for you. They're already written. My one recommendation is that you read them because these magazines can get a lot of traction. And if you have someone call you and say, hey, I got your magazine and I loved it. That one article about buyer and seller questions was so great, but I have a question about it. You want to know what they're talking about, right? So just make sure you go through and review that. Any of these pages that you don't want to have, you can take out. Like right now, featured listing is great, but not a lot of stuff is staying on the market that long. So you might want to take out a featured listing page. You can really get these designs so that they're not dated and you can use them for a long period of time. So if I have one that's specific to summer and I take out any of the things that might date it, like a featured listing, then I can give this magazine out all summer long. So magazines are super cool. And again, you can just go through, pick what you want to keep, get rid of what you don't want to keep, and go from there. I actually have also spoken to someone who is getting ready to use this as a newsletter template. So they're going to remove the magazine articles and they're just going to use the other templates like the quarter in review, client testimonials, and those kinds of things to create a monthly newsletter. So you can really get creative with how you're going to use this. All right. You can go back and look at templates. Look at that listing presentation. This is another one. You get some basic templates to choose from. If you want to kind of get a preview of what this looks like when it has multiple pages, if you hover directly to the right of the template there, the little thumbnail, there's that arrow, and you can click that to flip through the pages. So you can just get a better idea of what it looks like. So if I was looking for one and I saw this, I would think, wow, that is a lot of black ink to use up on my printer. And I don't think I want to use that one. So I might go with one that's a little more simple, that doesn't have all of this black that needs to be printed out. And I might choose one of these. As soon as you find one that you like, you just hit use. It's going to be really similar to the magazine in that it's going to show you on the right-hand side on that bottom corner all the pages that are available. And you can click through and choose the pages that you want to use. This actually comes with 2 pages right at the front that you're going to want to get rid of. This is for you. You don't need it to say listing presentation template. You're either going to want to delete that or you're going to want to change what it says right here. You do that by just clicking on the text box and then changing it. Just want it to say listing presentation. The next page is instructions. Please read those. Once you're done reading them, you'll delete them because your clients don't need to see your instructions. And then just like that magazine, you're just going to click through and you're going to create your pages. So this is a really nice cover page. I don't need this cover page. And I can just work on this one. If I wanted to switch this out with a house that looked a little bit more like a local house where I live, I could click on this image. And then I can come over here to all the different places, and under images, there is a space called stock. If I click on the stock images, oops, sorry, workspace. Stock images is going to show you all those Shutterstock ones. Workspace is where you get the KW photos. So there are house interiors, there are lifestyle photos of families and people enjoying their lives, neighborhoods, house exteriors. So I'm going to choose house exteriors. And then I'm going to choose a home that looks a little bit more like something that might be in my area. So I'm going to flip that out. Then down here, there's all this text to edit. My favorite tool for editing text is the typewriter tool. So if you just click on the text that you want to edit, that light blue highlight is going to show. You can go up to the top, and this weird little icon that's like a rectangle with a black square and a white square, that's your typewriter tool. So you're going to click on that, and it's just going to open up this typewriter space over here. And this is where you can type in whatever you want to replace that text with. And it's going to automatically format down into that space. So it's going to keep the same color. It's going to keep the same kind of text. It's going to keep that same formatting. And it just helps it stay nice looking. So I would go through, I would update all of this again for this text, rather than trying to like squint at my screen and click just into that box and get the right spot. I'm just going to highlight it and use the typewriter tool. Then hit save changes. All right, so that is, whoop, a little bit of formatting there. Just pull that out. I would do the same thing with this box. Down here for the DBA logo, you're going to want to switch that out. You always need your Market Center logo on these things. So I would do the same thing, just click on it, get that blue highlight, come over here, hit replace logo. And there we go. We're going to replace the logo. And you would just go through and you would do this for every page that you want to keep in your listing presentation. These listing presentations are put in here to be full and complete to the point of overflowing. They have everything that you could need, but you don't need to use all of it. So go through and find the things that really fit you and your business and use those. Some of the things you're gonna, well, all of the things you're gonna wanna make sure that you really read, because some of these are gonna be talking about what your client experience is going to be. And you want to make sure that that lines up with what you are doing in your business. So you don't want it to say that you will do a coming soon marketing if your area MLS does not allow you to market coming soons, right? So just kind of be aware of what it is that you're putting in, make sure that you read everything, and then you're going to be able to format it to make it the way that you want. So let's say here's a lifestyle photo. Maybe I want to switch this out with something. Again, go to images, go to workspace, choose that lifestyle. And then you've got all these photos that you can switch out with. And you would just bloop, switch them out. If you're doing anything with the text, anytime that you highlight text in here, it's going to pop up all these text tools up top. So just spend a little bit of time getting used to what these are. This is the color of your text. This is, you know, you can make it bold, Sometimes you can make it italic if it's the right font. Sometimes you can underline it. You can make bullet points, you can make ordered lists, you can, align it center, left, right. And then newer is this ability to do spacing. So you can space your paragraphs, your lines, your words, so you can help make things really fit in the space that you want them to fit. All right. Any questions so far? All right. Easy peasy.
Hey, Wendy, will this be recorded? I have to leave, so this is
Oh,
yeah.
this is being recorded. Yep, I just had to double check because I thought, oh no, I forgot to hit record, but I did.
Okay, so I can go over it because sometimes I never was aware of the assets now. So it helps me, it will help me a lot. So
Oh, good.
there are things that I don't know, I want to catch up. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Command itself is a very robust system, and then each applet within Command is extremely robust. And so there is a lot to learn.
Yes.
Ultimately, more than we can cover in any one session, even with 2-hour sessions at a time. So going back or retaking this class is always really helpful.
Thank you. I'll leave. All
right, so we looked at print. Really, ultimately, what you need to do is just time block some time to come into designs and play. You can't break anything, and getting used to all of the templates that live in this space can be really helpful. All right. I am going to leave this space, come back into designs on the front end, just so we don't get too confused. So here are those 2 designs that I just worked on. They're saved to my desktop here. Now we're going to go and look at social ads or social designs. So this is for your social media. And again, a lot of things live here. So if you've got a listing coming soon or just listed, you can use these collateral here. Anytime that you click into any of these, across the top are these categories so that you can choose what it is that you're seeing. So here are some wide social media things that would work better for something like Facebook. Here are square social media posts that work better for Instagram or Facebook, because a lot of people are on Facebook on their phones these days. So these work really well for those. If you're into stories and you want to post things to your stories, you can use these templates for that. We are just going to go ahead and choose any template that we like. What I recommend that you do is find something that you like the look of and stay consistent with it. So in the for sale, just listed, just sold, coming soon, they all have these similar looks. And just like we were talking about with like brand colors or any sort of other branding, keeping a consistent looking post is going to help you with keeping your brand on point as well. So we're going to just choose this one. It matches my listing presentation that I just put together. And now this one, I actually want to use a listing that I have. We're going to pretend I have it. It's not actually my listing. It's somebody else's in my office. But to do that, we can go over here to this KWLS button and search for the listing.
Wasn't it the second one?
Yeah, but it didn't have any photos with it. Here it is.
Okay.
So if we wanted to use this one, we could go through and find, you know, that really appealing. Actually, I don't know if this is the same house.
That's different than your address that you put in.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to recognize that this is going to every listing out there. So sometimes it's easier to type out the whole address. Oh, well, it's not showing up. Sometimes that happens. So we're just going to go with this one. We're going to pretend that this is the listing. All right, and maybe this is a kitchen picture. Maybe I want to replace it with this kitchen picture. So again, you're just going to click on the picture. You're going to go over here and you're going to choose replace image, these little roundabout arrows, and replace it. Then you can click on any of the text. Use that typewriter tool. It's my favorite thing. Maybe this finally sold for $879. Listed at $879. Sold for 900,000. Yay. Always make sure that you switch out your DBA name. The system's smart, so as soon as you click on that logo, it's going to open you up in your logo space. Maybe it sold in 10 days. And there you go. If this were a real social media piece, I'd be done. I'd be ready to post it. So it is as simple as that. Another really cool thing that lives in here for social media is the holidays. If you scroll down, you can go to any month of the year and you can see any of the designs that they have for the holidays in that month. I don't think we have any big holidays coming up in August. A couple. Maybe I want to do something with this post here. It doesn't have to be 4th of July. It's just kind of a nice little summer post. So maybe I want to do something with that. I'm going to go ahead and hit use. And you have a couple options here. You can just switch out the DBA name and be done. And now I can post this on my social media page with some sort of message about how it's summertime and don't we just all love popsicles. Maybe I'm doing an ice cream social. This would be a great one for that. We can also choose to animate it. And I really like animation for the holiday ones. It doesn't lend itself as well to things that are a little more serious, like just sold or just listed. But if you come down to the animation space on here, you can choose to animate your design and it'll make it into a little video. You can play around with this here, apply same animation to all pages, animate the elements all together. So instead of coming in individually like that, they would come in all together. Apply the same duration to all. You can change the duration of your animation. So you can have it take just a little bit longer to do what it's going to do. And once you have one that you like, then you can download it over here. And you would download it as a little video or GIF. So that would download to your computer as a little MP4 and you would be able to upload that into Facebook. This does not work that I have seen with the scheduling of posts through Command. We're going to look at that next, how to schedule posts through campaigns. The video format for the animations is something that you do need to manually download and manually upload into Facebook to keep that video formatting. But it's just a fun little thing that you can do. A newer addition to the design space. And I really enjoy playing with it. All right, any questions about social media design?
On my templates in here, I don't have a little button that says the social. It just has door hangers, filters, bifolds, regular things.
Yeah, so you're in the like We Brand space. So I am out right now on my screen. I am out in Command itself. Once I click to create something, you can see it's going to kind of redirect me and it's going to take me into the We Brand space. They're our partner in this.
Okay.
Once you kind of play around in there and build a design and then go back into it, it does take you into a place that has all the templates. So if I go to build a design and then I hit home, now I can see all the templates, print, social media, all of them. So it's just a matter of where you're coming from. But you can use these up here at the top.
Yeah, I don't have those.
Oh,
I don't have any social buttons at all on mine.
that is really interesting. Without looking at your computer, I don't know what the answer to that would be. I would say just connect with your Market Center tech trainer and
Got
have
it.
them take a look at it. All right. Another couple templates that I really like is under listings, the local expert. This is where you can get different posts to be that local expert. What's going on in the market. And again, because of the space that I'm in, I can see all of the designs. So social, door hangers, flyers, postcards. And then my favorite is Neighborhood Snaps. This is something that you can do. You could do a flyer if you wanted to go door knocking in a neighborhood. You could print out a flyer to take with you, or door hangers, or you can post this on your social media. So you can go for any of these social media ones, select one that you like the look of. I'm going to go with this one. Change that text. Change out your DBA logo. And then when you click on this over here, that's your neighborhood snapshot. You're going to click on this and then go back to the KWLS. So not only can you use this to pull in individual listings, but up here on the next tab is the snapshots. So you can click on snapshots and you can search by neighborhood name. Give it a minute to load up because it's pulling active live information from the MLS. And then again, we're just going to use this little replace image button. And now I have those statistics for Belmont. Now, the one downside to this is that unlike that neighborhood video where I was able to go in and edit average days on market, I cannot easily edit that in here. My workaround for that is actually to just go ahead and I don't know if I can do it in here. I usually do it in Canva. So what I would usually do is actually download this image. If I wanted to get rid of that 177 days on market, like I really wanted to do this snapshot for Belmont, I wanted to get rid of that. I would just download this image and then I would upload it into Canva. Canva is a great tool to have in your pocket. It is free. It is a design platform. And again, you cannot pull directly from the MLS. And it is not geared toward real estate. They do have real estate templates in here, but you'll find if you go to look for them that they all look pretty familiar because it's what every agent who's not with KW is forced to use because their company doesn't provide them with something like designs. So there's a lot of stock photos in here that you see all the time of the various houses. And a lot of the real estate content just is a little overused. But you can use it to do something like download this design, upload it into Canva. And then work in Canva to pull in. What I would do is upload that image, size it appropriately, and then ultimately I would just pull in a little white box, cover that up and put text over it and show what the days on market is. So we got a little in the weeds with that one because Belmont has this funny days on market issue. But for the most part, those neighborhood snaps are gonna show the accurate information and you'll be able to just pull them in and then post them from there. Canva is another one. It's free. You can't break it. I would recommend just time blocking some time to go play with it and see what it has to offer. I think it is a great complement to designs. I don't think that it replaces designs by any means. I think that particularly for things like your listing presentation, your buyer presentation, that magazine, and then any sort of items that are directly related to a listing, designs is where you want to be. All right, next we're going to look at creating emails. Emails can be sent out through Smart Plans or through campaigns. And Keller Williams gives you 72 templates. They are everything from just listed to open house to happy spring, happy Valentine's Day, happy holidays. There are some lead conversion emails in here. There are information about mortgages or low budget projects around the house. These are some of those kind of boilerplate emails that you can fit into any sort of campaign. Some of them are pretty generic and they are ready to go. So if you click on any of these, we'll go with Classic Healthy Home. It's going to open you up in the email editor. From here, up in these options drop down, you can preview the email. And when you preview it, you can see that my DBA logo is already here. And if I scroll to the bottom, my information is already here as well. It did that through the magic of command with what we call merge tags. So merge tags are anything that live between these brackets. You can see one there. That's where it brought my DBA logo in. And then down here is where it's bringing all of my information in as well. And it had a double little license number. So I'm just going to get rid of that. And these are going to automatically pull in. So really all you have to concern yourself with is reading the email so you know what it says. And then saving it once you really like it. These are for the email templates. If you wanted to edit anything in here, you would just click on what you wanted to edit and use this little edit button. It's going to open it up over on the right-hand side. And this is where you can edit it. So you could replace the image here. If you wanted to change the size of the image, you could do that here. If you wanted the image to link to something, either a landing page that you've made or your website, you can link that image here. When you've done whatever you want to do with editing, this is really important. You need to hit done. Done is what is going to change whatever you've done over here. Save will not do that. So done is the important part. If I wanted to edit this text and make it more formal, and just say, do you want to make sure being at home is always a breath of fresh air? I don't want to hit save. I want to hit done. Done is for the individual edits. And now it's going to quickly just change that edit over here. When I'm done with this whole thing, that's when I want to hit save. And then it's going to save the entire template. But for the individual components, you want to make sure that you do whatever you need to do, and then you hit done when you're done. I have had agents go through and meticulously create emails from scratch and get to the end, and they have not saved all of the things that they needed to save because they weren't hitting that done button. And so nothing was changing as they were updating it. It's tragic. So that is an email template that is already built out for you. You can also go in to create an email, and you can start from blank. This is really like a 201 level of using designs, but we're going to look at it just real quick. You're going to have a blank page on your left, and on the right, you're going to have all the various components that you can add in to create that email. So I always like to start with the legal header, and I'm just going to drag it over there. Again, it's got all these merge tags, so it's going to automatically pull those in. And this is what my email looks like right now. Then maybe I want to put in an image. Maybe this lovely home. Maybe I think that's too big, so I can go to edit that image. And I can change the size here. Done. It's going to shrink that image down for me. Text is where you would add text. You would just drop in that widget, go to edit, put in any of the text that you want, get it formatted the way that you want it. Maybe I want it centered, then hit done. Button is if you wanted to have a button that says something like, click here to learn more, or view this home online. You can do that. Again, you're just going to go to edit the button. You can change the color. You can make it rounded. You can change the size, and then you can add that link. So if I wanted this to link to my website, I could then put my web address here, and it would automatically link in. So as I sent the email, people could click on that button, get to where I need them to go. This is another one that you really just need to go in and play with. When I first was trying to learn creating emails, I just took every single one of these blocks and I put it in and I played with it, and I made the most ridiculous looking email that I would never send out to anyone, but it helped me understand what the different components were and how to edit them appropriately. So if you want to start building emails from scratch, maybe you have dreams of doing a monthly newsletter and you don't have a template that you already like, this is how you would do it. My recommendation, however, is that you stick with using the template designs, because there are a lot of them that live in there that you can use. All right, that kind of wraps us up on designs. Does anyone have any questions about anything that we've covered so far? It's a lot, and ultimately you want to get in and play around with it. Let me just double check to make sure I covered everything. Cool. And no questions. That's awesome. It's a quiet morning for you guys. One last thing before we jump into campaigns, I just want to show you guys, if you go to Outfront Magazine, which is outfront.kw.com, it is an awesome resource. If you don't know about it, I would write it down. Outfront.kw.com. There are articles in there about all kinds of things having to do with Keller Williams and all kinds of things having to do with real estate. And every month, right before the month, they put out a social media calendar for you. So if you're struggling and you know that you want to have stuff posted on your Facebook page and you want to start building a social media presence, but you don't really know how to do that, Keller Williams has taken the guesswork out of it for you. And you can go through and they start on the first of the month and they just give you a different thing to post every single day of the month for the entire month. Now, you don't need to post all of them. I would say the best practice would be to go through and find the ones that appeal to you, the ones that you're like, ooh, that's a great idea. Do those. Don't bog yourself down trying to, again, be perfect. Just work on making progress and try to start out with like 1 or 2 posts a week and then maybe grow from there. But anything that lives in designs is going to be automatically linked. So you can click on that link and it's going to open you up directly to where you need to be in designs to make the design that they're recommending.
Do you want that there?
Not really.
No. If you want. This one,
I'm doing the thing.
Oh, if you guys could just make sure you're
She's just
muted,
going
that
over
would be
design.
great.
Go ahead.
This is the last thing. we messed
Thank
up.
you. All right. So
Mhm.
that wraps us up in designs, and the next place we're gonna go is campaigns. Why I can't. All right, we're gonna go back into command. And now we're gonna go to campaigns. Campaigns is this lovely megaphone here. It is right kind of in the middle. Campaigns is where all of your marketing lives. So right here from the get-go, we can see that we have our dashboard. We're going to look at this in just a second. Paid advertisements, emails, direct mail, that would be postcards, and social media posts. All of those things live within campaigns. From your dashboard, you're going to be able to see performance on any ads that you're currently running. I am currently running an ad for K-Score, so this is telling me kind of what I spent, how many leads I got, how many campaigns I have going, what the engagement looked like on that. It's going to let you know that you have connected accounts. If you haven't yet connected your accounts, we're going to do that next. I'll go take you guys through that. And then right below that, it has quick posts. These are just little suggested posts that you can do. Here's that little video again. We love that video. If you choose to use this one, it's going to take you through those same steps. And then you can shuffle through the suggested ads and be ready to place ads. Now, make sure you check with your market center about whether or not you're able to post ads for Keller Mortgage. There are rules around that based on market center. So do not post things having to do with Keller Mortgage until you know that you're allowed to do that. But any of these are ready to go. And you would just click the little share button and it's going to pop open and it's going to have everything ready to go for you. So you can go in, you can change nothing, and you can go in and schedule that post or publish it immediately. If you wanted to schedule it, you would just click here, choose the day that you wanted to schedule it to go out, choose the time that you wanted it to get posted. I want everyone to think I'm an early bird, so I'm going to post it at 8 a.m. on Saturday. And then you could schedule that post. So that's your dashboard. Before we go any further, I want to just make sure everyone has their Facebook accounts connected. So we're going to go out of this space and into settings. You're going to go to your name drop down and go to the settings menu. And then on that main page, there are 2 different Facebooks. So the first one is for post scheduling. That is no cost to you. And it's just how you can kind of schedule your posts. So I have a project I'm going to be starting pretty soon where I'm scheduling out all of the holiday posts for our market center for the rest of the year so that I don't have to worry about it. I just know that whether it's a Saturday or a Monday that I have off or Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, posts are happening on my behalf. I don't have to do it. I don't have to interrupt my day to take care of those. So that's what post scheduling is. And then Facebook Ads Manager is where you're going to connect to do any of the campaign ads, the paid advertisements that you'll use for lead generation. On both of those, you're just going to want to hit connect. It's going to connect to your personal Facebook page, but don't let that confuse you. It has to connect into your personal Facebook page in order to get to your business page. You cannot post on your personal page and you cannot run ads on your personal page. So not only will it not do it, there's no way that you can do it. So a lot of people get a little nervous worrying that these things are going to start going out on their personal page. It will not happen. It just has to connect to your personal page to get to your business page. All right, has everyone been able to connect to your Facebook accounts? Any questions on that? Rachel, I see your thing that only social posts show up for you. If you are on a team, that may affect it, or it may be that you need to come in and make sure that it's connected over here. Okay, so now that we're going to connected, we're going to go back into campaigns. Maybe. There we go. Just wanted to think about it. All right, we're going to start with social posts. These are really easy and they cost no money. So we like that. Now I actually have some posts scheduled already, so you can see what that looks like. We are doing K-Score and KW Prep at our office. And so I have created social posts for the month of July to automatically go out. And those are scheduled here. This is what it looks like once you've scheduled a post. If I want to schedule another post, like maybe I want a post to go out this Saturday, you would just hit create a social post. And it's going to bring you into this lovely blank space. And just like everything else in Command, we've got one side is kind of the final product, what we're building, and then the other side is where we edit and change everything that we're doing. So if I wanted to pull in this little popsicle image that I made. Now, if you remember, I made this as an animation. It's not going to be animated when I pull it in here. It's just going to be a picture. So just know that animations do not work through the scheduled post. Maybe that's it. And then my post is going to be something like summertime is here. Popsicles are going fast. I have no idea. We know that people love emojis. They actually have done research on this. So 3 to 5 emojis is about the sweet spot to be when you're doing social media posts. So you, in theory, want to pull some emojis. If you are very much not an emoji person and the idea of putting emojis in your social media posts just, you know, gives you the heebie-jeebies, don't do something that you're not comfortable with. But in general, people love emojis. So I might want to throw some emojis in there. Safe and happy. Here's my design. If I wanted to turn this into a carousel, I could. You can add up to 4 photos here in this space if you wanted to. You can upload an image directly from your computer if you don't have it in your designs library. Now here, I put the DBA logo here on the design in the center. It's going to ask me if I want to have that logo on the right or the left. In this case, I don't want it on either because it's already existing in the middle. So I'm just going to cross that out and not have the logo there. I am going to put the ownership statement in. And that just puts it very teeny tiny print across the bottom there. And then if I like this post, I like how it looks, it's ready to go, I can go ahead and schedule it. And again, you're just going to pick the day that you want it to go and the time that you want it to post. It's going to show what page it's going to post to. So there's the business page. and then I would hit schedule post. I'm not going to do that now. But once I did do that, it would show up here as a scheduled post. You can also view across the top. It's going to show the week. So here are the posts that I have scheduled to go out this week. I have 3 posts going out 8 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I can also toggle here and look at the month. So here are all my scheduled posts for the month of July. So you can really use this to get organized around your social media. My recommendation is that you block like a couple hours every month or 1 hour a week to go out and plan out and post your social media so that you just know that it's done. It saves you time, it saves you stress, and you don't have to be kind of constantly trying to figure out what it is that you're going to post. It's done and it's done for you. And again, if you're struggling on ideas about like, what in the world would I even schedule? You've got this article from Outfront Magazine that's going to help you do that. Okay. Next, we're going to look at paid ads. Paid ads are things that you want to use to get leads, lead generation. Hang on one second. I'm so sorry. I'm having a child. All right. Everything's fine. So this is where you do your paid ads. This is my dashboard that's going to show me all of the paid ads that I've done in the past. From the left to the right, you're going to see the duration of your ad. It's going to let you know when it's ending, how many impressions you got, how many clicks you got, how many leads came from that ad, and then how much money you spent in total. And then I click this little down arrow and it's going to tell me per channel. So I got 5 leads off of Facebook, 1 lead off of Instagram, spent $12 on Instagram and $13 on Facebook. So that is just kind of how you can keep track of the performance of your ads. If you want to create an ad, you're going to go up here to the top right corner and hit create campaign. Choose social ad. Give it a name. And then choose your goal. If you choose that you're advertising a listing or advertising multiple listings, it's going to automatically pop out a box where you can put your listing information in. If you're just doing brand awareness or event awareness or something like that, it's not going to automatically give you that box, but there is a place where you can go, just like we did before, the little KWLS logo where you can pull that information in. So I'm going to say we're advertising a listing because that is how we get leads most often. I'm going to keep it on Facebook. I'm going to hit create campaign. Here's that lovely pop out. If you are advertising somebody else's listing with their permission, make sure you have permission to do that. You want to make sure you toggle over here to all listings. Guys, I was so excited to have this listing to use today because it's such a beautiful listing. And often when I'm teaching these classes, I end up with listings that just aren't as beautiful as this one. And it doesn't seem like it wants to work, which bums me out. Oh, well, let's pull a different one. All right, we'll use this one. There we go. So now it's automatically going to pull the photo, the lead photo in from the MLS. It's going to automatically pull in that kind of beginning text from the MLS. You only have 250 characters here, so it's not going to pull in everything. This is where you really want your description to go. We want to keep those short and sweet. You only have 250 characters to do it. The human attention span is not what it used to be. So quick, short, to the point, Emojis really help pull attention in and communicate quickly without people having to read, and they like that. So this is where you would go and you would edit it if you wanted to. For today, I'm not going to edit this. This is pretty good. I'm just going to put a period here instead of a comma, and it's good to go. The headline is right here. Headline. It's going to show you on the right-hand side exactly what you're doing. You could live here. Now the description, it says right here, the description may not show in all instances of your ad. Facebook will dynamically show the description based on their algorithm to improve performance of the ad. The way that this works is when the ad first goes out, it has the description attached to it. If it doesn't perform well, they drop the description and they keep running with it without the description, because again, people don't like to read anymore. And so more words don't necessarily perform better. So if you have something that's really important information that you want to make sure people see, it needs to go in your main copy or your headline, because the description might be dropping out. They also have these suggestions you can shuffle through. I'm just going to use the suggestion. You could be coming home to this. And here I'm going to put the information about the house. Let's just pretend it is 6 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms. Okay. So now I've built out my ad. This is what it looks like on the right. Next, I'm going to go into configure my media. If I wanted to have a different photo is the lead photo, or I wanted to have a carousel of photos, this would be where I would go do that. Wow, look at this house. Amazing. So I'm going to choose to show a picture of the backyard with this pool. I want to show that beautiful sunset. Maybe I want to show this incredible kitchen. Etc. etc. I'm going to get lost just looking at this amazing home. Maybe I want the aerial in there. And then maybe one final one of that sunset. So now I've created a carousel ad. Instead of just that single photo. If I wanted to rearrange the order of the photos, I could do that easily by just dragging and dropping. And that's good to go. I like that carousel. Then you want your DBA logo to show up on these photos because you're advertising a listing. So you're going to put it there. Do you want it on the left-hand side or the right-hand side? Just make a choice. Now let's put my DBA logo there. I want to include my ownership statement. I'm going to hit apply. And it's just going to put that in here with all this other little tiny text at the bottom of the images. So once you've got all the photos the way that you want them and you've got your ad set up the way that you want it to be set up, the next place you're going to go is Facebook settings. This is where we get into kind of the nitty gritty of lead capture. So the first thing you're going to do is select the business page that you want it to post to. And then if your goal is to get leads, then you want to choose the Facebook lead generation form. If your goal is to just have build brand awareness, then you might want to just have site or landing page and just have people click on it and go directly to your website. But you will not capture their information and you will not be getting leads off of that. Facebook lead generation form is what you want in order to get those leads. You have probably seen a Facebook lead generation form. If you click on something and you get a little pop-up that says in order to go forward, you have to share your information. You hit OK, and then you move forward to the next place. that was a Facebook lead generation form. It just pulls the information directly from their Facebook account. They do get an option to change it before they hit submit. So if they wanted to update something, they could, but it grabs that information really quickly and easily, and they don't have to manually enter it in. Something about humans, we're funny little creatures. And sometimes if we have to manually enter in our personal information, we're going to think about it and change our minds. Whereas if we just have to click one button and say, go for it, we're not going to think about it so much, and we're just going to move forward. So Facebook lead generation form. Button, you can choose which button you want. Again, learn more is really soft. Sign up or apply now. Puts a little bit of anxiety in people because what are they signing up for? So learn more is the button that we like to use. And then you've got your website URL. So I want to go to my website. And I want to look up this home. Now I'm going to click on it here. And now this is the link that I want to pull. So I'm going to copy that link. I'm going to go back over here. And now I'm going to put that down here so that after someone clicks on my ad and says, yes, please share my information with this person, I want to continue on, they're actually going to land somewhere. And where I want them to land is on my website, because they might stay on my website, continue to look at houses, decide they want to save a home that they love, and then suddenly they're going to be prompted to create an account. So it's a great way to get people to connect with you and your website. Below that, you're going to choose your audience. It's going to take the location and give you just a basic radius. If you live out in an area that's a little more rural, you might want to extend your radius. If you live out in an area that's more condensed, you might want to pull your radius down tighter. And also it's based on the property that you're looking at selling. So this is a $2-point-something million property. I probably want to cast a wider net for this one instead of trying to focus in just one little small area. So that's the area. You can also choose to build out a custom audience. If you use an auto audience, the Facebook algorithm is just going to do its thing. It's going to start putting your ad in front of people. And as people start clicking on the ad, it's going to recognize the attributes that those people have in common. And then it's going to start marketing to people that also have those same attributes. It's pretty smart. If you do a custom audience, you can choose not only the space and the radius that goes around, but you can match up interests. So if you're going to do this, my recommendation is that you do interests that are Zillow.com. Make sure you choose Zillow. If you choose Premier Agent, you're going to be marketing to other real estate agents, and you don't want to be spending your money on that. So there's Zillow. There is Trulia, a site that I can't believe still exists. And there is Realtor.com. So you all know that Facebook like watches you while you sleep and listens to your conversations. It is tracking everything. So this is going to put your ad in front of eyes of people that are already visiting Zillow, Trulia, and Realtor.com, or liking their post on Facebook, or slowing down on their post on Facebook as they're scrolling. You won't be targeting only these people, but it will help to focus your ad to people who have interest in shopping for real estate a little bit. Once you create an audience, you can now choose to save that audience, and it will go over into your saved audience space. So if you always are going to be if you're always going to be marketing to the same group of people, then you can create them over here in your saved audiences, and you can just choose those. Okay, so we're going to say we want to use this custom audience. We're going to save it, and then lead settings. Once someone clicks on your ad and says, yes, please share my information with this realtor, you want to know what happens to them after they come in. So what is their tag going to be? For this one, I would probably put something like Facebook Grays Meadow, so that I know exactly what Facebook ad people are coming in off of, especially if you're running multiple Facebook ads at a time. You want to be able to distinguish where they're coming from. I would just hit create new tag and I would have that tag go in. I might also want to add a tag that is like a Facebook lead. Create a new tag, any tags that you want people to go on. Buyer would be a tag that you could have automatically assigned to them. And then you can have them automatically assigned to smart plans. So if you have built out a smart plan that's ready to go to target people who are interested in this property, then you can have that smart plan start automatically. So that if somebody is scrolling and they click on your ad and they like it, they can get immediately an email with information about that home. They can get a text from you that says, hey, thanks so much for your interest. I'll give you a call soon. You can get a reminder to give them a call. So you can build out those smart plans and you can have that automatically start as soon as they click and get into your database. And then duration and budget. How many days do you want it to run and how much money do you want to spend? The minimum spend really should be about $1 per channel per day. I would go up to $2 or $3 per channel per day, depending on how you want to build up your ad. And as you do more paid ads, you're going to get kind of more used to what's working, what doesn't work, how much money you should be spending, what your parameters are. And then they recommend 10 days. They kind of start you with that. The reason that they recommend 10 days has to do with the Facebook algorithm. It does take some time for the AI component of Facebook to figure out who it is that's interested in those ads, who it is that's clicking on those ads, and find those people that are more likely to be clicking on the ad. And so that takes time. My understanding of it is, as the time goes on, it gets more and more focused and better at producing those results. And so you might get 2 leads on day 1 and 4 leads on day 2 and 6 leads on day 3 and so on and so forth. Then you would just hit save. And then you come over here and hit publish campaign. It then goes into Facebook review, which usually takes less than a day, but about 1 day turnover. So if I posted this today, it would probably publish itself sometime overnight. And it would be live by the time I got into the office the next morning. In fact, I may already have leads coming in at that point. And that is how you build an ad through campaigns. Any questions on that? All right. We are quiet this morning, y'all. Let's go into emails. If I wanted to send an email, remember we looked at creating an email. And I said you can send those emails through smart plans or you can send them through campaigns. If you just wanted to send one email as a one and done kind of thing, you can do that through campaigns. If you want to send a series of emails over time, you would set that up through smart plans. Both smart plans and campaigns can pull email templates from your email and designs. So if we wanted to create an email campaign here, we would just hit create campaign, choose email. Again, give it a name. Choose your goal. We'll do brand awareness for this one. And go ahead and select command email. You have 5,000 emails a month free from your command email. If you do have a paid MailChimp account and you want to use that, you can, but it's free to use your command email. So I would recommend sticking with that. You're gonna hit create campaign. And then again, on the right-hand side is where we can select our design to see the email. And on the left-hand side is where we're gonna put all the information in. So I'm gonna select a design. We're gonna do this healthy home. It's gonna show me that design again. Make sure that I don't want to create any edits. If it's ready to go, I'm just gonna hit save. And it's gonna plug that in. So there's my email ready to go. It's gonna show all those merge tags filled in. Over here, I have the campaign name. This is just for your own information. Nobody sees this. The account that it's coming from. So I've got my Wendy Binder at kw.com connected to my command email. And then the recipient list. So this is where if I already had a list built out, I could just choose that list. Or if I wanted to create a list, I would hit create list. And then I would use my tags to filter that list down. So maybe I want to do this email to all of my recruits. I'm going to do that. That is going to pull up all the list. I'm going to scroll down, make sure that everyone is included on this first page. Then I would select all. Name my list. Hit confirm. So now I've created that list. There's 64 people on it. I'm calling it my recruits list, and it's ready to go. The email is going to be coming from me with my title, and the reply to email address is showing up as my KW email address, so that's correct. I would put in the subject. Content is already there. I've added my design, and so I could either schedule to send this or send it right away. And that's as easy as it is. Questions about email? I will not be sending this.
How many do you get for your month? You said some
5,000.
5,000, thank you.
Go ahead and go over back into our settings. If on the main page of the settings, you scroll all the way down. Once it shows up. You've got your command email here. You can go to manage that. Just make sure that it's got your name the way that you want it to be. Get your reply email in as your KW email or whatever other professional email you're using. And then you would save those changes. And then down here, if you found that 5,000 emails a month wasn't enough and you wanted to increase, you can manage your subscription. And it will allow you to add more emails. You would pay for them at that point. But you can buy up to 10,000 for 10 a month, up to 20,000 for 25 a month, up to 30,000 for 40 a month.
Wendy, I have a question.
Yeah, great. Love questions.
So from a standpoint of lead generation,
Mhm.
for instance, as an example, if you wanted to send out, just using numbers, if you wanted to send out 30,000, well, I shouldn't say, but maybe 10,000 emails a month, 7,000 emails. It's I mean, is that it's worth it to pay $30 or $40 for that? Right.
My personal opinion is that you're probably going to be hard pressed to find enough people that are wanting to get emails from you to have that many going. You would have to have a really large database to get up to that level. If you only have 300 to 500 people in your inbox, you don't want to be sending them that many emails per month.
So you could spread it out though, is that right? Does that make sense? I'm just trying to get a feel back from you about what would be the best
You can
way.
spread it out, but you have 5,000 for free. So if you have 500 contacts in your database, that's 10 emails a month per person, which is more than you should be sending. Anyway, so you can upgrade it. I think that you would have to have a very large database to get to the point that you would need more than 5,000 a month.
Okay, that's good information. Thank you.
Mhm. All right, any other questions? We're gonna move on to direct mail. We're gonna very briefly look at this. Direct mail is postcards. It does cost money. This is not a free service at all, but you would go into create campaign and choose direct mail. Give it a name. Choose your goal. Oop. All listings. Select your listing. And then Keller Williams has these like template emails that you can use. So you would just select your listing. I don't know why it's not pulling that photo in. We'll give it some time. Then here's where you can select your template. Based on what you want to do. The larger ones are going to cost more money. You would put in the information about the house. We'll call it just listed. Description is going to go on the back of the postcard. You don't want a description that long. You only have this little bit of space. So you would want to edit that down. Then you're going to choose the photo that you want to use. Now, because this is pulling directly from the MLS, it's got this little warning that these images are not as high quality. They don't have as many pixels as it wants. So usually if you're doing postcards, you're doing it with your own listings, you would have the original photos from the photographer. They would be very high resolution. You would want to use those here and you would upload them in. But for today's purposes, we're just going to stick with the one that we have. I like that one better. Okay, so here you can see what your postcard is starting to look like. Below that is your agent information. Again, this is pulling directly from your marketing profile. Then you would get your market center information filled in. Then you're going to look at targeting. Do you want to target an address? Like, do you want this postcard to go out to homes around this particular address? Or do you want this to go to everyone in your database? Maybe you're doing a postcard for just sold and you want everyone in your database to know that you sold that postcard. You can target your database if you want to. You would just add contacts from here. Local targeting is going to give you the area around the home or around whatever address you put in here. And then your budget. Say we want 200 cards. It's $128. Sounds good to me. We're gonna hit save. Once you have your postcard, yep,
Wait, so when you choose the address, and you choose 200 postcards, it's just going to give like 200, it'll stop at 200 for like a small radius of houses listed around the posting. Is that how it's gonna?
essentially, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
The next thing we're gonna do is configure targeting. That's where we can kind of play with what homes it's gonna mail to and which homes it's not gonna mail to. But basically, yeah, it's just gonna draw a radius around that home of 200 targets, and that'll be what you're mailing to.
Thanks.
Mhm. So next, we're gonna go to configure targeting. You're gonna connect us with the company Real Mailers, which is what these go through. And this is where it gets really fun. So here on the map, each one of these blue dots represents an address. So this is 200 blue dots, all in the radius of this home. I can change how many homes I want to target, so I can increase or decrease that number. I can say which property type I want to target. So I can say, hey, I want this to only go to single family homes. And then I can say, you know what, I only want this to go to homes that haven't been sold in the last like 4 or 5 years, because people are less likely to want to sell their home if they just moved into their home, right? And maybe for this particular one, I want to target homes that sold for $800,000 or more, $900,000 or more. Now see how much bigger my radius got? Because I'm still sending 200 postcards, but now I've put in some parameters that are going to need to spread out and send out to a much broader area in order to hit those. You can also go in to an individual dot, see the information about that home. So if I know that this is my listing and this person right here is a realtor, I don't want to pay to send them a postcard because I'm not marketing to realtors. I can remove them directly from that list. Or if I know that this is a great area, this over here is all like an assisted living community, I can remove these. So you can use your knowledge of local stuff to help target as well. Okay. Then I can choose to send a copy to the company address. Then I would hit next. Then it's going to show me a preview of my postcard. So this is what it would look like. And it's going to have my payment information ready to go. So this is where you can put in your information, make a payment, and then boom, for $136.68, you get to mail this incredible postcard out to 200 people.
Wow.
That's how postcards work. You can also design your own postcards. If you don't want to use the templates from KW, you can go into designs. You can design postcards directly in designs. That's how I made this Red Day postcard. You just want to be sure that when you download it with a bleed. That gets a little in the weeds to start talking about that. But if you go to answers.kw.com, which is going to be your friend, and you search postcards, they're going to show you all of the articles having to do with postcards. And there's one here, create and download a postcard design for a direct mail campaign and command. And it's going to tell you how to download that design so that it fits into your postcard template. And essentially you just have to make sure that you're including the bleed option and download it as a PDF. So remember answers.kw.com. It's a great resource for all things, particularly postcards.
And that
Right.
$136 covers your postage fee?
Mm-hmm, yep. They print them, they post them, and they send them out in the mail. So if you don't check the box to send a copy to the office, you will never see your postcard. It'll just go out for you. Some other companies, they'll like print them, but then they're gonna mail them to you and you have to get all the address labels and put all those on and do the postage and all of that. This one, it's one and done. It's all included.
Can you tell me just based on what you did, what size postcard that is?
That is the compact postcard. So it's like 4x6, I think.
Mhm. Okay.
Right, and the last thing here is payments. This is just where you would go to put your credit card on file to pay for your ad spending. You would hit add payment method. Put the payment in. That's pretty self-explanatory, but that's where you would go. If you forget to put your payment method in and you go to try to run a paid campaign ad or postcard or anything like, it's gonna remind you. It's gonna say, hey, you need to put a payment in file. Do you want to do that now? And then it'll give you the opportunity to do that. Let's see, the last thing that we can look at is under reports. If you are sending emails out through Smart Plans or through campaigns, you can track those emails. So all of my emails that I send out go through Smart Plans. That's why this is all orange. If I was using campaigns, there would be some purple in here too. So far this month, I've sent 401, so it's counting down where I am to my 5,000 limit. I can see how many emails were delivered, if any were undelivered. I can see how many were opened, how many were clicked on, how many were replied to, and if anybody unsubscribed. And then if you click on view details, it will show you every single person who opened and read your email. Which is pretty cool. It'll also show you if you're getting marked as spam anywhere. If you find that you're getting marked as spam a lot, you might want to change your approach. Some email systems will mark you as spam if you have too many exclamation points in the subject line, for example. So just keep in mind some of those kind of parameters. But in general, our system sends out in a really lovely way that does not get marked as spam. So. Is there
Where
email?
can you see the email replies?
Well, they're going to come to your email inbox. So anyone that replies, it's going to go through command to your actual email. So all of these came through to my email account,
Okay,
but you can click on view details and see who it was that did reply.
so if I'm using Gmail, I will see all the replies in Gmail and reply back.
If your Gmail account is connected to command
Yeah, yes,
in the settings, yes.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's gonna go to, it's gonna go to whatever email you have here in your command mail management. Whatever you have as your reply to email here is where it's gonna end up going.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, so this tends to be a faster session. Does anybody have any questions about anything that we've covered today? We have about 20 minutes. And if there are not a lot of questions, I'm going to go into referrals just really quickly, because yesterday I saw on the actual sign up that it said contact Smart Plans and referrals, and we didn't have time to hit referrals yesterday. All right. If you think of a question about designs or campaigns while we're talking about referrals, feel free to pipe up and ask. We can always come back to this. All right, referrals, we're going to go through really quickly, and we'll probably still wrap up early today. Referrals is where you can go to grow your network, to send referrals, and to track your referrals. So growing your network is really just a matter of reaching out to agents in different areas and connecting with them. These are people that have reached out to me. I've accepted their request to connect, and there we are. So if I was like, oh, I have a referral for someone moving to Honolulu, well, here's this person. I don't know her. I've never met her, but she went through the trouble to send me a nice email asking to connect. And so I might send her that referral. If you have referrals that you've sent out, you can check on them here under the My Referrals tab. These are referrals that you've sent out through command. Doesn't work on referrals that you're sending out outside of the system. But you can see any referrals that you've sent, any referrals that you've seen, been sent or received. My network is just going to take you back to that place where you're kind of pre-connected with people. And then map is where it gets really cool. So if one of you had a referral for someone who was looking for a place to live in Charlottesville, Virginia, you could come in here and you could search up Charlottesville. And the first thing you're going to see is every single transaction that has happened by a Keller Williams agent within the last 12 months in this area. That's what all those little green numbers are. On the right-hand side are the agents that had those transactions. So if I hover over Angela Fink, I can see that she's had these 2 transactions. They turn red. You know, they turn red on the screen. And she's had more, I know for a fact, but they're probably in these bigger bubbles. You can scroll down into a specific area. Maybe you know that they're looking to live in North Downtown. So you can go down closer into that area and see which agents are selling most of the homes in North Downtown. From here on the right-hand side, this is going to randomly show you, see sorting by random, randomly show you the people who had those transactions. You can sort by name. You can also sort by closed units, listing sold, or buy sides. So if I want to search by closed units, I can see that these people have had the most closed units in this area and go from there. If I want to see information about any of the agents here, I can click this little arrow to the left and get all of their information, including their contact information, how many units they've closed, how many listings they've sold, how many buy sides they've represented, and their sales volume in the last 12 months. So you can really learn a lot about an individual agent through here. From there, you can request to connect with them by hitting this little plus avatar, or you can send them a referral. If you want to send them a referral, you're going to fill in all of the information. The information that you fill in above the yellow space here is going to be what they see, that agent sees when they get the referral. Everything below that, they don't see until they mark the referral as accepted. Once they accept the referral, then they get to see the information about the client.
Question, please. Do you have to know that person that you're referring to, or it's just cold by coming into them?
You don't have to know them. You could just send it
Oh, okay.
right off. I would recommend, if you're looking at sending to an individual person, calling them first,
Okay, thank you.
right? You can get their phone number here. So I would call and say, hey, you know, I'd like to send a referral. I'm going to send it through command and go from there.
Thank you.
The other thing you can do, because you don't necessarily know these agents, I know these agents, but you don't know these agents. So how are you going to pick out the one agent in here that's going to be, you know, the perfect agent for your client? You can broadcast a referral. So if you hone in on an area and get that number of results below 50, you can then choose to broadcast the referral. It's going to pop up that same pop-up asking for all the information. You're going to fill it all out. And then you're going to broadcast this referral out to 42 agents. From there, any agent who has systems in place, who is on top of their game, and who is using command is going to see that they've received a referral broadcast. And they get to choose to raise their hand and say, hey, I'd like this referral. At that time, they get to send you a little note. They can tell you a little bit about themselves or, why they'd like that referral or just connect with you through that way.
Do they have to be KW agents though to
Yes.
see these?
Yes,
Oh, okay, thank you.
this is all within KW.
Okay, thank you.
So let's say I broadcast this out to 42 agents. I had 6 agents reply. And then I get to choose from those 6 agents by having conversations with them, going back and forth, which agent I want to send that referral to. And then I can choose that agent and send the referral directly to them. And then they'll see all of this information down here. So broadcast referral can be a really helpful tool. The other thing that you can look up here is market centers. I find this to be really helpful because sometimes Googling a market center does not get you the results that you want. Google and market centers are a little weird. So I can see our market center here in Charlottesville. I can see the 2 market centers over by Richmond. I can see the 2 market centers up in Fredericksburg. You can click on any of these market centers and it's going to show you all of the agents within that market center. You can sort through there. You can use these filters. You can sort by order. Or you can just get the information for that market center. And then the last thing that you can do here that I think is just super cool is check out referral patterns. So this is showing every referral that has come from a KW agent leaving Charlottesville has gone to these places. So 6% of referrals coming out of our office have gone to Huntsville, Alabama. 6% have come to Madison, Alabama. That's telling me that maybe I need to meet some agents in Alabama to refer people to. 5% are going to Richmond, Roanoke, Forest, et cetera, et cetera. You can also see referrals coming in. So all of the referrals that agents within our market center are receiving are coming from these places. So again, these would be hints about where I might want to be building up my agent relationships because this is where referrals are coming from. Right? Any questions about referrals? That's basically it. All right. Well, we wrapped up 12 minutes early. If you
I have a question about,
there we
yeah,
go.
yeah, about designs though.
Mhm.
I see that we can upload the logos, but what if we also have another logo for our team? Can we also upload that and include in the photos for socials?
Yeah, absolutely. You can upload it into logos as well.
Okay, perfect. And
Um,
for email signature, we have like an image. We can also do that for emails. Like the email signature is like an image. It's like in JPEG format.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can upload that in there too.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? All right. Let me just share my screen one more time and we'll go look at the homework assignments here. Let me make sure I covered everything. All right. If you do not have a Facebook business page, work with your market center tech trainer or productivity coach to get one set up so you can run campaigns. That is a great action step. A good rule of thumb to remember too for your business pages is the 80-20 rule. So your business page should be 80% business, 20% not business. It can be like a picture of you at the local coffee shop where you stop to get your coffee, or a little post about how you're, working poolside this day. And then your personal page should be 80% personal and only 20% business. What you don't want to do is create a business page and start sharing every single post from your business page to your personal page, because that's going to scare people away. 80-20, just sprinkle it in there lightly. All right, and here are your resources. And with that, if there are no more questions, we will call it a day.
Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.